There's an old idea that life is less like a lottery and more like a garden. And that sounds like a pretty good thing. It sounds nice, sounds kind of peaceful, until you come to the realization, or it hits you in the face, that you are then responsible for what is actually growing in that garden we were just talking about. So the question I invite you to consider, as I have been, which is, what seeds are you sowing? So it's not what are you hoping will grow. It's not what you say you want. It's not what you're actually kind of posting about. It is what you are actually planting, what you are uncovering the soil, putting in, covering back up, and then cultivating and taking care of. Because our lives in reality doesn't respond to wishes, it responds to those seeds. So what happens when you make some plants, when you actually put seeds in the ground and nothing grows? Because sometimes that'll happen. Sometimes you look around life and you're like, nothing is going on, nothing is happening at all. I'm not progressing. I don't feel like I'm moving forward. I'm not learning anything. I'm not growing. There's no there's no seeds, or rather sprouts. There's no fruit that is bearing. Something like that. You get the idea. And you look around, you're like, why isn't anything happening? Well, did you actually plant anything? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Did you water it? Did you protect it? Did you give it sunlight? Did you make sure that no pests or predators came along? Did you show up consistently, which is required and necessary? Or did you hope something would grow just because you wanted it to? Think that you realize, I'm sure you do, you don't get abs by hoping. You don't get trust by wishing, and we don't acquire wealth by scrolling through really anything. Gardens, planting, harvesting, that requires labor. No planting, no growth. No watering, dead growth. No discipline, no harvest. And this isn't me being mean or cruel. That's just a cause and effect, because there are effects that come from causes. There are consequences for actions. When something grows that you didn't expect, what happens then? You planted the seed, and all of a sudden you got something totally different than what you thought you were going to get. And that's probably a lot more unsettling. You plant corn, pumpkins grow. Ooh, what do I do now? Was it the wrong seed? Did I did I put the seed in the wrong soil? Was it the wrong conditions? Maybe somebody put pumpkin seeds inside of the packet that was supposed to contain corn. Or maybe you didn't actually plant what you thought you planted. What you actually planted were late nights and alcohol and fast food and distraction and envy and complaining. And then we're surprised why we're anxious. We're surprised when anxiety came to be our partner, when anxiety sprouted out of the ground. What happened probably was you planted cynicism and blame and victimhood and rage, and then you're surprised that bitterness grew. What if you planted open borders without enforcement, and you planted no punishment for crimes, and you planted a tolerance for disorder, and you planted ideology over reality, and then you're surprised that chaos grew? The thing about seeds is they're not impressed by what you intend. They simply respond to inputs. If you plant irresponsibility, you harvest instability. If you plant denial, you harvest decay. If you plant fantasy, you harvest consequences. This isn't a political thing, that's just pure agriculture. What happens when the seeds actually work perfectly? It's a beautiful thing. When this happens, you wake up early, you train your body, you meditate, you focus, you commit to your work, you honor your family, you stay disciplined, and you look around and growth is happening everywhere. New buds on trees, new sprouts coming out of the ground, and those take the form of better, more energy, increased clarity, more opportunities, higher respect for yourself and from other people, and of course, that beautiful thing that is peace of mind. That really is the miracle of compounding. It's the culmination of small, proper, right action. It's repeated daily. And what happens is you have an entire field or a forest that's growing. But there's a harder truth that we must grapple with because sometimes the seeds work perfectly, and that is really the problem. Because if you, the planter, were immature, idealistic, uninformed, proud, you maybe planted something that sounded good because it felt like compassion. It felt popular. It helped you to feel more connected and aligned with your tribe at that time. And then the harvest comes and it worked exactly as it was designed, but then you realize I didn't really understand the seed. I didn't understand what I was actually putting into the ground. You went to college, you got the wrong degree. You attached yourself to a movement that you regret. You built your life around approval. You supported an idea that collapses underneath the weight of human nature. And now it's growing and it's growing perfectly. And hopefully, this is the most humbling moment a person or a country can experience when reality says, you planted this, so what do you do? And the mistake that most people make and are making right now is that they're doubling down. Blame the soil, blame the sun, they blame pests, they blame history, they blame other gardeners, they blame anything but the seed. But there's another option. You could admit it. You could admit, I planted the wrong thing. It's not weakness, that's being a grown up. Ask for forgiveness where it's necessary. Correct course, cut bait, move on. It's far better to uproot early than to let the rot spread everywhere. It's far better to say I was wrong than to sacrifice your future protecting your ego. This applies to a lot of different things. It's a bad habit, failing business model, a toxic relationship, a misguided political ideology, a personal identity built on sand. And the way forward is the same. It's recognition, it's repentance, it's replanting. That's the real way forward. And the truth you already know is you can't change yesterday's planting, but you can control today's. And seeds compound. That means even small corrections matter. So plant discipline, plant order, plant truth, plant responsibility, plant excellence, plant restraint, plant delayed gratification. Guard the soil, water it every day, protect it from pests, accept that growth and change takes time. And most importantly, respect reality. Human nature doesn't change because we want it to. Economics don't change because we vote on it. Biology doesn't change because we prefer comfort. Consequences don't disappear because they're inconvenient. Reality is the soil. Work with it, not against it. So here's a question. Across the 6 key areas of life, family, community, your career and your money, well-being, personal development, peace of mind, what seeds are you planting? And if the harvest came today, would you be proud of what's growing? Or would you be scrambling to explain it? The hard mercy, because there is mercy in the system, because it means that you're not trapped by the past. You are governed by inputs, and you are one disciplined season away from change. Just one season, but only if you stop lying about what you planted. If nothing grows, plant. If weeds grow, uproot. If poison grows, confess. If fruit grows, protect it. And if you realize the harvest is your fault, good. That means the next one can be yours too. Because in the end, life is not random, it is agricultural, and the harvest never lies. So, in service of helping you to interrogate what it is that you're putting into the ground, we created a seed audit, and you can access that in the notes of the show today, today's episode. Hopefully you got something out of it. I'd be grateful if you're not already subscribed. If you would, be grateful if you haven't left a review that you would. And if you want to dig into some additional resources, check out The Meaningful Few. It's a new book that I wrote. You can get it on Amazon. That'll be in the notes too. And you can go to mymeaningfulfew.com and check out a lot more additional resources to help you be a better steward, be a better farmer, be a better planter. And fundamentally and foundationally, help you to do your part by doing your best.